lovely people, you are welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. If you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. Today we are going to have a summary of Wednesday, Thursday and Friday lessons of lesson 1. Wednesday talks about regaining what was lost. From Sabbath afternoon to Monday, we have studied to know that Adam and Eve had a perfect classroom and God as their instructor, but they gave in to the devil to be their new instructor. As a result of that, they lost what God had given them. They were banished from the Garden of Eden. Education at that time was to help them get to know much about God's creation and get more and more closer to God. Now they've lost everything. How can we regain what has been lost? Beautiful thing is that God has not left us at all. He still has a way to regain everything that we have lost. All that we need to do is to follow His instruction for us now. If education before the fall was God's way of acquainting Adam and Eve with Him, His character, His goodness, and His love, then after their banishment, the work of education must be to help reacquaint humanity with those things as well as recreate the image in us. In spite of their physical removal from God's presence, God's children can still come to know Him, His goodness and His love. Through prayer, service, and studying His word, we can draw close to our God as did Adam and Eve in Eden. Amen. God has not given up on us. Even though we chose to let the devil be our teacher, God says, I have not given up on you. I am still ready to redeem you. And He did that through Jesus Christ's death, resurrection, and what He's doing for us in heaven. All that you and I need to do is to give in to the instructions of God, follow His principles in the Bible, and we will have that image again. Even though now you and I cannot come face to face with God and talk, but through the study of His word, through prayer and through fellowship with one another or service, we will still encounter God in a special way. The good news is that because of Jesus and the plan of redemption, all is not lost. We have hope of salvation and of restoration. And much of Christian education should be pointing students toward Jesus and what He has done for us and the restoration that He offers. Amen. And so as Adventists, our schools should seek to direct the heart of students to the Creator. As parents, our instructions, the education we give to our children should seek to direct their hearts to God. When we read 2 Peter 1 verses 3 to 11, Paul mentioned some few things there that are very important for us to consider. One of these things is knowledge, which the lesson focused on. True education will lead to true knowledge, the knowledge of Christ, and thus not only will we become more like Him, but we also may stand to share our knowledge of Him with others. Amen. So as God seeks to restore us, for us to regain everything that has been lost, we need knowledge, and we can only gain knowledge when we study His word. We are moving straight to Thursday, and Thursday talks about the despisers of authority. The despisers of authority. We are reading 2 Peter 2 verse 9 and 10. And I read, Then the Lord knows how to deliver the godly out of temptations and to reserve the unjust under punishment for the day of judgment, and especially those who walk according to the flesh in the lust of uncleanness and despise authority. They are presumptuous, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignitaries. God will judge those who despise authority. Therefore, we need to take authorities very serious, especially authorities who are leading us in the way of the Lord. Is it possible that Part of our education in Christianity is not only avoiding temptation, also learning the many ways that God can and does deliver us from it, as well as helping guard us against those bitter ones who will secretly bring in destructive heresies. And so when we read 2 Peter 2 verse 9, it says that the Lord knows how to deliver the godly from temptations. So as Christians, our education or in educating our children and ourselves, it shouldn't be just about avoiding temptation, but we should also be educated on the many ways God seeks to deliver us from temptations. And since the despising of authority is so condemned, shouldn't our Christian education also consist of learning the right way to understand, submit, and obey those who rule over you? Amen. And so God is speaking against despising authority, despising our elders, our pastors, and people in position, especially those leading us in the way of the Lord. Therefore, our education also should consist how to submit and respect authority. Though one could not say that Adam and Eve despised authority, in the end they chose to disobey that authority. And what made their transgression so bad was that they did it in response to a blunt contradiction of what that authority, God himself, had told them, and who had done so for their own good as well. And so like the lesson is saying, we cannot say specifically or emphatically that Adam and Eve despised authority. They regarded God as their teacher and all that, but at the end of the day they chose to disobey God. So you and I can uphold God and speak well about him and be proud of him, but if we do not obey him, we are not doing anything. Let us choose to obey God. God is ever ready to restore us. What are you waiting for? Just give in and he will restore us. And hey, do not despise authority. We are moving straight to Friday. We are reading something from E. Jim White's Patriarch and Prophet, pages 50 and 51. The holy pair were not only children under the fatherly care of God, but students receiving instruction from the all-wise Creator. They were visited by angels and were granted communion with their Maker, with no obscuring veil between. They were full of the vigor imparted by the tree of life, and their intellectual power was but little less than that of the angels. The order and harmony of creation spoke to them of infinite wisdom and power. They were ever discovering some attraction that filled their hearts with deeper love and called forth fresh expressions of gratitude. Amen. Our parents had this wonderful experience. Unfortunately, they lost it because they allowed Satan to be their teacher. God has not given up on us. He still has a way of redeeming us, and he has done that through Jesus Christ. All that you and I need to do is to give in to his instructions. Do not despise authority. Let us allow ourselves to be educated in the way of the Lord, so that we will regain everything that has been lost. Thank you so much for being part of today's summary. Please, if you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing. Share the video. You might win a soul by just sharing this video. I will come to you again with another summary. Bye-bye.